Hello everyone, welcome back. It's nice to see you again. We can't believe that this is going to be our fourth video already. We appreciate all the support that we've gotten from all of you so far. And not trying to beg or anything in that, but please like and subscribe. At least subscribe. And it's only because if you subscribe and ring that bell, then we know that you like what we're doing and we can keep doing what we are. Again, we do 2 videos a week every other week. So this week we had Wednesday and Friday. Next week we'll only have Friday, and so forth and so on. But please, if you like what we're doing, let us know by subscribing. We really would like to see some comments. If you like it, or if there's things that you don't like, or if there's subjects that you want us to do. Today's subject, we are going to touch on Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and probably everybody should have heard of her by now. The case made the headlines. Gypsy Rose and her boyfriend plotted a murder to kill Gypsy's mother, Dee Blanchard. They both served time for it. Gypsy served, she was sentenced 10 years, was eligible for parole after 8, which she did just get out this I think it was December when she got out. And her boyfriend is scheduled for life imprisonment. But his family is trying to get him out early because they're claiming they have more evidence and stuff like that. But I'm going to let her go into it, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about what she was diagnosed with once she was released, what got her out, and exactly what led up to her plotting her mother's murder.
But before we get into that, we have the 3 state fun facts. So they're going to be different states. They're not going to be Pennsylvania anymore because I already did those.
Well, those were fun laws. These
those
are fun
laws.
facts,
Yeah,
right?
these are facts.
We'll be alternating that like every week too.
As our seating position alternates.
And you can let us know too if you like us doing that. If you don't, please. That's why we like comments. So we're already stuttering a lot.
Here we go again. Alright, so in the Alabama town of Magnolia Springs, residents get their mail delivered by boat.
That's interesting.
Cool. That is pretty cool. In Alaska, an offense to push a live moose out of a moving aircraft.
Wow.
Why would you do that?
I don't know, but wow.
What is wrong with you Alaskans? Is that even a word?
Alaskans.
Alaskans? I like Alaskans better.
Hey, if it works for it.
I'm gonna say Alaskans.
Alaskans.
A bridge built in 1831 across the Thames.
Thames. The H is silent.
Of course it is. The fucking English language. Where did it go?
Right
A
there.
bridge built in 1831 across the Thames in London was disassembled and sold in 1967. It now crosses part of the Colorado River.
No, there's no livers in the river in Colorado. It's the Livery River, right?
Oh my lord. The Colorado River in Lake Havasu City, Arizona.
Voila! She succeeded. So getting back to Gypsy.
See? Yes! Not just me.
Gypsy Rose. Her mother, from the time she was very small, had her believing that she was terminally ill from leukemia, asthma, epilepsy, muscular dystrophy, which her mother told her she couldn't walk, kept her in a wheelchair, up to brain damage because of premature birth, and cancer. She even had her salivary glands taken out because her mother said she was having trouble swallowing. She had a feeding tube put in her stomach that she had clear up through when she was an adult, which her mother kept her age from her, always had her believing she was 5 years younger than what she actually was. So she eventually got out because they seized medical records and they diagnosed her with Munchausen syndrome by proxy, which that is brought on by all the years of abuse and the mental strain that her mother put on her, making her believe that she wasn't like other normal kids, that she had all of these.
Alright, so the first thing that we're going to get into, because I felt like it needed to be discussed, because I saw this on my For You page, and I watched the video, and I was like, are you serious? These are basically things we already know about Gypsy, but if you don't, that's why the article is here. But they're trying to make it seem like things against her, when in reality, I think people should just leave her alone. She just came out of jail, you know, she's trying to live her best life with her husband, she just got a new puppy, she has new clothes, you know, she gets to see her family again, and, you know, all is good with the world. She's living her best life.
Now, she's never told anybody, she never ever once said, hey, I'm innocent. She never said that. So some of these claims are making out like she's a big liar and she faked all of this and she's claiming to be innocent. She never said that. Matter of fact, it's just the opposite. When they were interviewing her when she knew she was getting released, she said, I know I am not innocent. I am guilty of helping Nick. She even admitted that she's the one that told Nick to murder her mother, and she said she got what she deserved. She belonged there. And she said, in a way, she said, as crazy as it sounds, being in prison was actually almost like a blessing for her, because she got away from her mother. She got away from all of that. So it kind of helped her in some sorts. So no, not once did she ever say she was innocent. But go back to...
Alright, so the article is on TikTok, but it's not, I don't think it's actually by this person. They just posted the video. I think they reposted it or something. But the one that I saw is from a person named user 539-359-284443. And the headline is, the entire Gypsy Rose story may be a lie. Now, obviously you're like, it's not a lie, it happened, she went to jail for it, you know, all these different things are coming out, and now I'm going to explain why they think that. A family friend of Gypsy's and Dee Dee's, apparently, because we don't know this for sure, and she just all of a sudden is saying that she has all of Gypsy's medical records and court info that she's going to release, proving that she's lying. Now, what I want to know is, how did she get these records? She's not in the medical field. Let's say she was a close friend of the family. Don't you think that she'd be trying to defend them? Or, you know, when Gypsy was actually being put in jail, that she would be like, yeah, I have something to say about this whole thing, instead of waiting until now when she's out of jail, and then all of these things are coming down on her, to just throw it out there like, oh, hey, I have medical records over here.
Well, here's the thing, too, pertaining to that. Ironically, when Gypsy and Nick, her boyfriend at that time, both got arrested, they both were supposed to be trialed together, and they were both up for either life imprisonment or the death penalty. And they were really shooting for the death penalty for both of them, because it was a planned murder. It wasn't just a spur of the moment. It was a planned murder. The only thing that helped Gypsy was these medical records. the lawyer said, hey, because of the evidence that we found, we now need to have Nick tried separately and Gypsy tried separately, because the medical records are proving what Gypsy said, that she did not have cancer, that she could walk, she didn't have muscular dystrophy, she didn't have asthma, she didn't have any of these. This girl was being medicated by her mom for a lot of this stuff that she didn't have. She was being bound to a wheelchair for disease that she didn't have. And thank God the attorney came across by talking to Gypsy about it and did her own investigating and found out, got the stack of medical records to help Gypsy get a potential life or death sentence down to 10 years and eligible for parole and aid. So that's what could they have? I mean, it's almost actually like they're proving Gypsy's case even more rather than proving that she's lying about it. Like, it don't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what this family friend has against her, but if it does come out, I want to see what she is going to say that hasn't already been released.
Yeah, and Gypsy admitted to all of this. She admitted. She said, hey, I told Nick to kill my mom. I told him how. They discussed 3 different ways that they were going to do it. The one was going to be poisoning, but they didn't want to do that. Another was they wanted to shoot her, and they thought that would be too messy, and neighbors would hear a gunshot, obviously. So that's when they decided to do the knife. She admitted to all of this. She admitted that she is the one that planned it. She admitted that she did this film in the hotel room showing how she wanted it done, or was actually in her house where she took the video of doing this, like showing how she wanted her mother stabbed. She admitted to all of that. So how could she be possibly lying if she admitted to all of that?
Now again, throughout all of this, she was on that drug, by the way, that opioid or that whatever, because
she got addicted to.
She got addicted to this opioid or whatever it was from a very young age because her mom just kept giving it to her. She even had a problem with it in prison, and where she had to sneak and get it from cellmates. So, it was pretty bad.
And people kept on saying, I think Gabriella's going to touch on it too, like, well, if she could walk, why didn't she escape? Well, she did. She got out of the house a couple of times, and her mother found her, brought her back home, tied her to the bed, didn't let her eat, drink, go to the bathroom, nothing for 2 weeks, beat her. Like, why would you escape again when you feel like your life is threatened? Her mother had a way of finding her each and every time. And
her mom bought a gun in the documentary.
Yeah, she did.
Her mom bought a gun, threatened her with it. I don't think it had any bullets in it by that time.
I think, wasn't it though, like a pellet gun?
It was a BB gun.
Yeah, it was a pellet gun.
But her mom bought the gun to threaten her, and she was like, you know what? The one day she got the courage, and she was like, you're pissing me off. I'm gonna shoot you with it. But I think it grazed her arm or something.
It did.
So it didn't give her, like, major issues or whatever. And
and her mother lied about it. Her mother she actually had to go and get it checked out. It was probably because around that time would have been when she started having issues because of her diabetes. And she went and got it checked out, and they asked her what happened, and she said that her and Gypsy went shopping at Walmart or something, and somebody approached and tried to rob them, and caught her in the shoulder with
glad you remember that.
And and that's the other thing Gabriella's going to address too. They're saying, well, it was just the opposite, that her mother didn't take care of Gypsy. Gypsy, in actuality, took care of her mother because her mother was ill. Gypsy admitted that, but that was way after Gypsy found out that she could walk, and when they found out that her mom had diabetes, and she was getting all kinds of, her legs swelling up, all kinds of issues pertaining to her diabetes. And Gypsy, I mean, even though she plotted to murder her mom, she loved her mom. It's just that it was just, everybody gets to their breaking point after a while. And she admitted, she said having her mom murdered was not the right thing to do. She knew it was wrong, but she didn't know what other direction to go. And again, we're not saying she's innocent. We're not sticking up for her for that part, but by golly, I know if my mother told me I had cancer, you think about it this way. You have this young girl who sees other kids out playing, they're walking, they're growing up, they're getting their periods, they're turning into young ladies, they're going out dating, they're going to the prom, they're going to high school events. This girl wasn't able to do any of it, plus the fact that she was always told she was 5 years younger. She couldn't do any of that. Even when she was maturing, her mother still shaved her head, still bathed her like a baby, and she couldn't even bathe herself. How would, I mean, come on. Yeah, murder was wrong. She knows it. She paid the price for it. Let her the fuck alone. I just have to say it that way.
Yeah, so the article, also, because this isn't the full article, this is just, like, little snippets of it, because if I went into the full article, then this video would probably be, like, 2 hours long.
Yeah, we don't want to go that far.
It's talking about her other personality. Now, Gypsy didn't have this personality until she met Nick. Once she met Nick, she came up with this personality to please him because he was into BDSM and all these weird, it was like weird sexual violence stuff. And she was very vulnerable, so she clung on to the person that was like, I'll give you the world. Basically,
yeah,
she wanted that fairy tale ending.
And that's what she thought she was going to get with Nick. Now, when she told Nick, she said, I got some things that I got to tell you. I can actually walk, and I don't think, she said, she wasn't sure at that time. She said, I don't think I have these illnesses. My mom's telling me my mother is abusing me. She does beat me when, she did escape once before with a guy that she met at it was like a, what was that?
It was a Comic-Con.
A Comic-Con, that's what I was trying to think. She met this guy there that was Wolverine. She had an obsession with him. She escaped, got punished for it. But when she told Nick that she could walk, Nick said, well, I have something I got to tell you. And he told her, he says, I have two personalities. He said, I am Nick, but I have an evil side. And the evil side, his name is Victor, and you don't want to get him mad. He will kill. He is capable of killing.
Which is also a little weird. Why would he say that unless maybe there's a cold case out there somewhere, and he kind of did hint, to do with it.
He kind of did hint of that,
like
he might have done it. Yeah. And the other thing is when she snuck out to see him at the theater, he did not like, because Dee could not accept him. Dee did not like him whatsoever. She hated him. She felt like he was a stalker and he was creepy, which he was. He was rather creepy. But Nick told Gypsy, he says, I do not like your mother. So when Gypsy finally decided, hey, let's bump her off, Nick was more than willing to do it. So
yep, so getting into her other personality that she created for Nick, her name was Ruby. Her caring was broken, and she was not scared of law enforcement at all, according to this article.
Well, if she did say that by chance, it's not that she was afraid of him, and that she just got to the point where she didn't think she was ever going to get caught.
Yeah, I'm quoting from the article.
Yeah.
I'm not quoting her.
Right.
So.
Right.
I don't know if she actually said that, but
that's what this person claims. So, and
yeah,
and let's just give this person the benefit of the doubt if she did say that. Well, it doesn't make any sense, because Gypsy could have said it because she got so used to stealing and doing stuff that was illegal. That with the biggest one, the scam that she was in a wheelchair and she was collecting all that money from these fundraisers and everything else. Everybody thinking she had cancer and that. So she was used to doing illegal stuff, so she wouldn't be afraid of the law.
Yep. So, which we'll also get into that a little bit later with the article, because I did my research, guys, and on this article I skipped through it and then I went back and I skipped through it and like I took snippets that were like, are you serious? And plotted it down. My handwriting sucks.
No, it doesn't. It's just she's like me. I have half decent handwriting, but when I write in a hurry, it looks like somebody chicken scratched it.
So this is about their dating life, I guess. It says, if at any time, which I wrote this like I was fucking drunk or something. If at any time anyone became Nick's girlfriend, that's what it is, not boyfriend, girlfriend, she would kill them with pleasure. Now, this is still talking about her other personality that she created for him. It says, but if she was trying to get with him for sex, she might allow it. Now, I'm not buying this because she wanted that fairy tale ending. She wanted to be the princess to his prince, and she wanted to have kids with him, and they planned out their future together, and there was no mention of another person coming in the picture and him allowed to, you know, just go out and date whoever the fuck he wanted because that's what he wanted to do.
Plus,
apparently.
it didn't make any sense because if you look at any of the transcripts from the telephone texts and Facebook texts and all that between Gypsy and Nick said he was madly in love with Gypsy and he would do anything for her, and including being with her. He even now, I think he still loves her because apparently they did contact each other when she was in prison, and he loved her. Why would he even want to see somebody else when he was strictly contacting her? There's not any record showing that he even hinted of trying to contact anybody else. So why would a comment like that be made when there would have been no reason for her to get jealous when he gave her 100% of his attention?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It don't make any sense.
I don't know where they got this information from, but hey, I'm just the messenger bird. I'm reading from the article. I don't know what to tell you. But the next thing is, it says, talked about how good she is about planning and stealing things. She had talked about that, but that's because it was planted in her brain from her mother. You know, growing up, her mother was like, oh, if you want that, you're gonna have to steal it, or, I can steal it for you, you just gotta keep a watch out because you're supposed to be sick, you know?
And again, she admitted to all of that. She said she was a thief. She stole a lot of stuff. She admitted to that.
Well, that's what it says. It says that she pretty much admitted to stealing and planning, and that's why she's a bad person, because she's gonna go whatever. It's Then another thing is, the medical procedures that did actually occur were necessary, and that the ones that didn't were fraud. Now, she has proof in all of her documentaries, and even the doctors in the documentaries and whatever is saying these weren't needed. There was nothing wrong with her. They just went off of the notes that the mother gave them because it was from a doctor's slip.
The one doctor that they interviewed after all of this came out and they diagnosed her with that syndrome, he broke down. He said, I knew she could walk. He says, I knew that a lot of this wasn't true, and I tried to help her, but every time I tried to say something, her mother just went and took her to another doctor that would agree with her. And he said, he started crying. He said, he broke down. He says, I feel like I failed her. He felt like he was partially responsible because he wanted to help her and he didn't know how. He said he feels like he was a big failure for not being able to help her.
And he was the only doctor that came out and said that. The other ones were like, I was doing what I was shown to do, and that's it. Whatever.
It just bothers me. I think I think her dad should go back, and I would consider filing lawsuits against some of those doctors, because what doctor in their right mind, without thoroughly checking that patient, allow that stuff to happen, like the salivary glands, her getting them taken out? There should have been a lot more research and examinations and whatnot, and that diagnosed before she was diagnosed with having to get that done. And just like, why would these doctors even perform it? The tube, the stomach tube, so that she could eat, her feeding tube. Which doctor allowed that to happen without doing all kinds of testing and everything to see if it was necessary? Like, the thing is Dee was slick, because when they did the investigating for the trial and that, they found out she did have some medical background. She was able to, she had a whole pamphlet of prescription, the pad, that she was able to forge and write her own prescriptions up for herself, because she was on drugs, and what she gave Gypsy. When they went into the house, that one cabinet, they said it was unreal how much medication and medical supplies and that was in there, and because Dee had that in her background.
Sorry again.
Yeah, you're good.
Dee was able to, I can't sit still. Dee was able to get all these medications and everything because she was in the medical field. So she knows how these people operate and what to tell them to get them to do pretty much whatever you want. And for them to trust her because of her being in the medical field, they're like, oh, you know, she was one of us, so why couldn't we trust her? And that's why their entire freaking cabinet was filled with nothing but drugs. It was insanity.
Don't you have something in there about the cancer thing?
Yeah, somewhere. Oh yeah, it's right here. That's what I was just about to read, actually. Okay. It says, Gypsy wasn't being treated for her cancer. They were just claiming that she had it, and because they were suspicious of them, they were no longer getting the free stuff, so there wasn't much in it for Gypsy anymore. Now, she wasn't being treated for the cancer because she didn't have it. And these doctors that thought that she did have cancer already assumed that she was being treated, because who's going to look at a cancer patient and be like, are you being treated, or like do tests on them or anything when they're already in so much, you know, agony and pain and whatever. Like, no doctor is going to be like suspicious of not getting treatment.
Now that's one. If they would have treated her for cancer, it would have killed Gypsy. She would have been getting chemo and everything else, and that would have definitely killed her. And Dee Blanchard knew that. And Dee was not. She did horrible things to Gypsy, but she did love her daughter. That was a piss poor way of showing it, but she was so afraid of losing her. She didn't want her to grow up. She wanted her to be a baby her whole life, a young child. And when she started growing up quickly, that was her way of keeping her under her house, is just, you know, under her care. I don't say under her house, but under her care. By having her believe that she had all these illnesses and stuff, and that she was dependent on her mom. Was it right? No, but like Gabriella said earlier, she learned those traits off of her mother. Gypsy, now that she's married, when she does have kids, she's going to find out she's going to pick some of the traits up, unfortunately, from her mother. But she can either do one of two things. She can either be like her mother, hopefully not, and live the way her mother lived and treated her, or she can say, wait a minute, oh shit, my mom used to do this to me, no, I gotta change this, which I kind of think is the path that Gypsy will go, because she actually is a good person. And once she found out that she didn't have these, well, she didn't even know, even until she got in jail, when she got arrested, she didn't even find out until then that she didn't have or didn't need some of the medications and stuff, and that for what her mother told her. She was still thinking that she had some of these illnesses when she didn't.
She had none. She was perfectly healthy.
Yep. And there was nothing on that list that she had, not one thing. And like I said, she found out a lot of that when she actually was in prison. But, you know, her mother just kept on having her believe it. So, you know, what do you expect? I mean, yeah, she didn't do the right thing, but she admitted, she says, hey, I'm not innocent. I got what I deserved.
Now, this is the part of the article that is like, why would you even, why? Just why? It's a part where it's not facts or anything, but it says, why did she know how to pretend like her legs didn't work in the video of her jumping? Now, there is a video of her jumping off of their porch awning into a pile of snow, which we were all surprised because, you know, she's not allowed to do anything, and that was kind of dangerous, even though she's supposed to be paralyzed, you know.
Well, her mother confused her too, because her mother told her at times that she wasn't paralyzed, but that she could walk, but she couldn't walk very well. That
she was weak.
She can't walk. Yeah, and so she needed to be in the wheelchair. So her mother kind of altered that story up. Even as she got older, she kind of made her believe that it was even worse. But as she was growing up, I mean, at one time she was out there playing on the trampoline. Her grandfather said, "Go ahead and out and play."
I don't know if that's actually true.
If that did happen, you know, it's just, you know, she knew that when she was younger, but at one point, I don't know if it was just from the movie or if it actually happened, that she was told that her dad said that she'd walked funny from the time she was a small child, and that's what made her go and get checked, and that's when they come up with the muscular dystrophy and that, I guess. I don't know, but Dee used Gypsy and the illnesses to get all these fundraisers and all this money coming in. That's how they got that house.
Yep. But getting back to the jumping off the ottoman on the porch, don't just try to stop the chair.
If the chair's rubbing my leg.
Not her. Well, let me move over a little bit.
I can't.
Get your leg out of here.
Jeez. You and your
fidgeting. Down the drain. Like a psychotic person in the padded room. Anyways. No.
Inside joke.
That
We can't speak.
Anyways, getting back to the jumping off the ottoman from the porch. Awning, not ottoman. From the porch.
Wow. That's a big leap from the ottoman off.
Wow. Anyways, she was able to pretend to... She was able to know how to pretend like her legs didn't work because that's what her mom wanted her to do. Her mom wanted her to believe that her legs don't fucking work, so she was like, my legs don't fucking work. I don't know what's so hard about that concept. I don't. I really, like, why was that asked? What is floating?
I don't know where that came from. It looked like a little fuzz.
Is it even there? Oh, it's here.
Yeah, it was an angel fuzz.
Wait,
Yep.
Make a wish. Make a wish.
No.
Wait. Wait, I can pick it up.
It's not the kind of fuzz you make a wish.
Do it anyway.
Crazy nut. Yeah, her mother just had her believe in a lot of stuff, and again, there was the video at the well, it would have been at the house where Gypsy, she admitted to it. Yeah, I filmed it, and she showed how she wanted her mother stabbed. Now, if you think about it, Gypsy said that she planned the murder almost 2 years prior to the murder itself, when she was first with Nick, when Nick told her that he would be capable of killing for her. And she actually, there was those couple ways. There was the poisoning, and then it was a gun, and then they decided on the knife. But Nick also said too, he told her he wanted to rape Dee first and then kill Dee. And Gypsy says, no, you're not raping my mother. It's, it's bad enough that, we're planning this murder, but you're not gonna rape my mother. So they're addressing that issue there, that he ended up raping her right after the killing, because she willingly first started allowing him to have sex with her after the murder in her bedroom, not Dee's bedroom, but Gypsy's bedroom. But then she wasn't comfortable, and he took her no matter what. So he did rape her. But it just, there's so much controversial stuff surrounding this. And Nick right now, he was diagnosed early on as having a personality of a 15-year-old, but telling people, I mean, he told Gypsy, I'm sure if they researched and he contacted other women through that site, he probably also told them that he had the second personality that was...
Which, I don't know how it works, because I don't have multiple personalities, and I've actually never met somebody with multiple personalities. But if he has the mind of a 15-year-old, what is the mind of his multiple personality?
Well, I say, and that's the thing
is like an older
and his
guy?
Mother said that he did get in trouble before. He was in trouble with the law before, because she had to keep a close eye on him. And, like, I don't know what all new evidence besides these medical records that this person's bringing up and that on him. But Nick really should have been... Now, out of fairness, I'm kind of swaying in the middle of my own thought. Out of fairness, I don't think Nick should have got life sentence, especially considering that he was diagnosed with a split personality and that he only had the mindset of a 15-year-old. I think they should have given him, put in a psychiatric home for the rest of his natural born life. That would have been even hard on him, but I think the punishment was a bit much, but he did. I think what hurt him is that even though he had the mindset of a 15-year-old and two personalities, when they interrogated him very coherently, he said, yes, I committed this murder. She told me to do it. This is how I did it. He knew exactly, and he knew it was wrong. He said he knew it was bad to do that, but he knew step by step exactly everything that he did. And I think because of, even though he had the personality of a 15-year-old and he was in his 20s, that was enough to be tried as an adult. And so premeditated murder, that was just one thing. I mean, they were going to get death
sentence. That's why
sentence.
I'm curious on, like, if his multiple personality also had the mind of a 15-year-old.
The thing that I'm a little bit confused at, and I'm not because his mother, like, when I saw some of the interviews with her, she seemed like she loves her son.
She was trying to defend him.
She was trying to defend him, and she loves her son, but she knew that he was unstable mentally. Why wasn't he watched, especially if he did get in trouble with the law before, why wasn't he watched a little bit more closely, and especially if he was able to, I mean, you can't be with your kid 24 hours a day, obviously, but there should have been some way that he could have been monitored or checked on a regular basis to see what he was up to see if he was meeting up with women, and what kind of behavior he was having when he was talking to these women and that on social media. Because for him to come right out and openly admit to somebody that, hey, I have this other personality that is definitely capable of killing, and he knew that that was wrong, but he said, you don't want to mess with Victor. And he said Victor did not like Dee, and that wasn't too hard of a decision for him to go along with, because he did not like her because she did not like him.
And because she wouldn't let them be together.
Yeah. So, I don't know. And again, guys, we're just, there's going to be subjects we're going to talk about. You're going to say, hey, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And that's okay. That's your opinion. But we've researched a lot about this, and we watch, it's like when we do the George Anthony and Casey Anthony thing coming up in the future, a lot of you are going to say, oh, you guys, you really, enough is enough. But we listen very closely to not just what we see on social media, but the actual transcripts from the trial, the actual words that came out of George's mouth and Casey's mouth.
They will be quoted.
And they will, yeah. I mean, and their mannerisms. Now, Gabrielle and I, just because we're not messed up or anything, but we like watching the show, The Signs of a Psychopath. And we watch it because of being women. You want to know the signs of what to look out for. I got two beautiful young daughters, and they go out anytime, walk by themselves. There's so many incidences where these single women get snatched, and we want to be aware of what all the signs are. And to be honest with you, if you watch that show and some of the signs that the psychiatrists and that pick up, and you watch people like George Anthony when he's talking, that guy was a former police officer. He was well liked in his community. In their eyes, he could do no wrong. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to stop it right there, because that'll be in our next episode. That'll be like, where's she going? Well, just tune in when we do that episode, and you'll find out where I'm going. But it's the same as with the whole Nick and the Dee thing. Dee had that medical background. She knew exactly what to do and how to keep Gypsy under her care and making her believe, hey, Mama loves you so much. And she loved her mom. It went back, and even though she wanted to escape when her mom got ill, because she still did have that love for her mom, she wanted to help her out until she could figure out, hey, how in the hell am I going to get out of this mess? And again, killing her was definitely not the way to go about it, but she knew that. She knows that. She knows that there could have been a different way that she could have got out of that, and they chose the bad way, and she paid for it.
My eye's doing some weird shit. Give me a second.
Yeah, mine used to do that. I remember a couple years back, it was weird. I'd walk around like,
Well, it's
like
weird. It's
twitchy
like,
eye.
yeah, it twitches, and I don't know why it's doing that all of a sudden. It's like,
It's probably a nerve acting up from sleep deprivation.
I think I'm good.
You're just winking at them because you like them so much, because they're such nice audience.
Anyways, getting back into the article, which is almost done. It says, when she claimed that Dee Dee's last words were, "Don't hurt me," it wasn't because she was tucking her in at night. It was actually because she was in the room when the killing happened. Now, Gypsy denied this. Gypsy was like, no, I was in the bathroom, holding my ears, and then I didn't hear anything except for her yelling,
Gypsy.
"Don't hurt me," and
Gypsy's
Gypsy,
name.
and then she heard silence, and they even had a knock code. It was like 2 knocks, 3 scratches, or something like
When
that.
it was all done and over, yeah.
And for him to open the door.
And Nick admitted this,
yeah,
too.
and I was just going to say that. Nick said about the code, too. And he tends not to lie, but the next thing that I'm about to tell you is a lie, so, I mean, for all we know, at least. Nick claims he only stabbed her 4 times, but there are 17 stab wounds in Dee Dee. Now, I'm pretty sure...
Didn't he change that, though, later on when they were talking to him after he got arrested, when he was in prison and they talked to him? Didn't he say that he did? I think so. We're going to have to research that.
I'm going to...
Because it seems to me like later on after that, he initially said, like, I thought he said 7 times. But I think later on when they interviewed him and they talked more about it, and he admitted that he was solely the one that did the stabbing, that he admitted that it might have been more than 7 times. Because, I mean, Nick, I don't think he would have been Victor. So let's say when Victor killed, I don't think he's going to be there counting 1, 2, 3, 4. He was just going to be stabbing her and stabbing her and stabbing her until he saw the last breath escape from her. So, you know, he might have thought he only stabbed her 4 to 7 times, but, you know, you keep on doing it. Like I said, I'm sure when somebody's committing a murder, they're not going to be standing there, oh yeah, I'm going to stab him 25 times. Okay, let me count. 1, 2, 3.
He is autistic, though, and he did say that she was struggling, so, you know, maybe he did count. I don't know. I don't want to know.
So that's just it. I mean, with him, I forgot that he was diagnosed as autistic too. I forgot that they did say that.
Yeah, he was.
But that's why I said I think the sentence for him, he did commit murder, but with the mental background that he had, I think he should have just been sentenced to life in psychiatric confinement, because I think. I mean, it's not like he lied. He did admit to...
He literally... Okay, this is a quote on another article that says, I would have done it again. I might have done it differently, but I would have done it again. I couldn't see her suffer anymore.
And he was talking about Gypsy suffering from all the abuse. So, but we'll get back to, if we get an update, which we did get an update on the Stanley Cup, by the way. A new thing come out here not too long ago that all these people went crazy over the Stanley Cups. They're saying that they could possibly be lead-based. So all these people are spending that money, and here they might have to worry about lead contamination because they're saying that there could be lead-based. So
yeah, I'm trying to find.
But that's what we do is we find any updates or anything to prove anything that we say. We will update it on a quick snippet in an upcoming video. But we're going to have to start, I think we're going on pretty close to an hour, so.
This is another thing that's kind of confusing to me. You know, Nick claims to have a multiple personality, which I think he was diagnosed with, but I thought when you switch over to your other personality, you don't really, you're aware of what's happening, but you kind of like, are like, did that actually happen?
I don't know. I've never met around anybody.
I really wish that somebody would comment below if you have like a multiple personality disorder. Comment below like how that works, because in this statement it says when Dee Dee woke up to him stabbing her, she asked him, "Who are you?" and he said, "I'm your effing nightmare." Well, how would he remember that if it was his multiple personality?
Well, the impression that I got from when he was talking, when they were interviewing him, was that he knew that he had this, he could feel that Victor taking over, but he couldn't control it. He knew Victor's personality was taking over, but he could not control it. That's the way I understood it, and vice versa. Nick would jump back in at times, but when Victor took over, which he said Victor didn't take over too often, but it would be something that would bring that personality out, like how Dee treated him at the theater. That's kind of how I caught on it. Now, I could be 100% wrong, so don't, you know, focus and...
Again, we have no knowledge on how
Yeah.
the multiple personality thing works.
But just by when he was talking, he gave the impression that when Victor took over, he knew Victor was taken over, but he just could not, he had no control over it until Victor's personality left on his own, which sometimes it could be minutes, sometimes it could be who knows how long, but Nick was aware that Victor was taking over. Which I watched a lot of those shows with people with multiple, and they could talk to him. They say, hey, can you bring the other personality out? I need to talk to so-and-so. And they could go in, and that might be what it is. I don't know. I don't know exactly. I guess everybody's double split personality or whatever is different.
I can't find anything on where he claimed to have only stabbed her 4 times.
Like I said, I can't see a person committing a murder and stand there counting like
well,
1, 2,
this
3.
article, this is the last thing on the article. It says that many wounds is usually a sign of crime, of passion, and who would have that mean of passion towards Dee Dee? And then it's pretty much signifying that that was Gypsy because she has all that passion to kill her mother. But he admitted to stabbing her 17 times. There's nowhere, I don't know where this person got their information from, but I literally just searched like the entire fucking internet.
It seems to me like when they were talking to him too, now to think of it, and I'm going to have to see because that's nothing like we'll bring up. When they were talking to him, it seems to me that he said, I stabbed her X amount of times, which I don't remember what the number was, but she still was not dead. She was still struggling.
Yeah.
So I stabbed her more.
He probably said I stabbed her 4 times.
That's what I think. That's exactly.
And then, blah 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 blah.
Because I remember when they were interviewing him, he said, I stabbed her X amount of times, but she was still breathing. She was still like flopping. And so I kept on stabbing her until she stopped moving and flailing around. Yeah. So, I mean, and we have a disclaimer here, so which we should put
it's going to be
at the beginning,
and it's also going to be in the description.
Yeah. So, we're not trying to get gory and
I might have to blur out some of the words, not blur them, but like beep them or
what words?
Kill.
Oh, because of YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
The guidelines.
Yeah. But I mean, we can touch on this. Please comment because we can touch on this again. This is right now. We're taping this. This is Thursday night. Well, now it's early morning of Friday at 12:18. My son's kind of babysitting the puppies, and he needs to get to work in the morning.
Our second time trying to do this video because the first time my dumbass forgot to clear the memory card and the battery was dying, so I had to plug in the camera and I had to clear out the memory card.
Now, a lot of you say, well, why didn't you just start where you left off? That's not us. We what you see is what you get. We don't do any editing. She'll put our little intro on, and that. But
we don't want you guys to feel like we're lying to you and that we do edit our videos, because we don't. And that's why we literally had to restart this, because there would have been that kind of slight cut in it, and it would just make no sense, and you'd be like, oh, well, you said you don't edit your videos, but here you are, there's a random cut in there, and you're in a different position, you're saying a different thing, like.
So we could go on and on for hours about this. If you want us to touch base on this again in the future, again, please comment. Like, commenting, we know you're watching and you're enjoying. Maybe you're not enjoying, but you can tell us that, hey, you guys suck.
Like or dislike the video. Interact with us, okay?
Just some kind of interaction, but we're going to end this, and like I said, if you do want us to touch base, we can touch base, because we could go on and on and on forever on this, and it is a very controversial subject, which you may agree with us or not, and that's okay. But with that saying, I've been starting to do a final quote. I had a couple in mind, but I think with this one, I'm just going to end on Terminator 2, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Hasta la vista, baby. Please tune in and
Peace out.